Let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a narrative that is literally guaranteed to send shivers down your spine. Imagine this. It's a dark, stormy night. Heavy rain is just lashing against the windows. We've got our protagonist, a young guy named Ion, sitting completely alone in his newly rented apartment. He's just working late on his laptop. Now, the building he moved into is old, weathered, and it has that heavy, oppressive silence you really only find in forgotten places. He took it because the rent was dirt cheap, so he's totally isolated in the dead of night. And then, that silence breaks.
It's exactly 2:17 a.m. That time just hooks us right into reality, doesn't it? Suddenly, Ion hears it. 3 slow, deliberate sounds. Knock, knock, knock. It sounds exactly like someone is slowly, softly knocking on his front door. He shuts his laptop, he calls out, "Who is it?" Absolutely no answer, just a thick, suffocating silence. And then, the sound repeats. Knock, knock, knock. Except this time it's closer, it's much more distinct.
Door number 307. Ion slowly opens his door and steps out into the hallway just to see what's going on. It's completely empty, nobody there. But right across from his flat is another door, door number 307, and it is sitting half open. Now, when Ion moved in, he was explicitly told that flat 307 was vacant. No one lived there. Yet here it is, sitting ajar in the middle of the night. So, drawn by this wild mix of fear and sheer confusion, he walks up to it and asks into the dark, "Is anyone inside?"
What he hears next is literally the stuff of nightmares. Out of the pitch-black depths of that room, this incredibly fragile voice whispers, "Please, get me out." Ion's heart is just pounding out of his chest at this point. He pushes the door open a tiny bit more, peering into the absolute darkness, and asks if she's okay. But she doesn't answer the question. Instead, she gives him this chilling command. She just says, "Don't look back." Right then, a sudden icy wind blows straight against the back of his neck.
Think about how wildly fast this all escalates. Minute 1, he's just investigating a noise. By minute 2, he is talking to an unseen entity in an empty room. Minute 3, this voice warns him not to look behind him, and suddenly the girl screams from the darkness, "I told you not to look back!" Ion squeezes his eyes shut, but by minute 4, human curiosity completely overrides his survival instinct. He slowly turns his head. He expects the absolute worst, but there's no one there. It's just the empty hallway. He lets out a massive sigh of relief, darts back into his own flat, and immediately locks his door.
The guard's warning. Terrified, Ion decides to call the building's security guard to ask about this girl in 307. For a few agonizing seconds, the guard is dead silent on the phone, and when he finally does speak, his entire tone has shifted.
The guard asks to confirm 307. Ion says yes, and then the guard drops this horrifying twist. "Sir, 307 has been sealed for 3 years. Ion actually tries to laugh it off, that nervous reaction we all get, and says, "But I just heard someone's voice inside." The guard doesn't laugh. He is deadly serious and suddenly frantic.
The guard instantly gives Ion these strict rules for survival. First, echoing that voice in the hall, he says, "Don't look back. Don't engage." But the second rule is an urgent plea. He says, "Sir, please do not step out of your room." Ion tries to ask why. He gets out a what, but before he can even finish, the call drops. He frantically tries to redial, but his phone is now completely and inexplicably switched off. It is dead. He is totally cut off from the outside world.
The bedroom invasion. The terror is now inside. Just as he realizes he's alone with a dead phone, suddenly, from inside his own locked bedroom, that exact same fragile girl's voice calls his name. "Ion!" He starts shaking violently. It's the same voice from across the hall, and she asks him one simple, bone-chilling question. "Why didn't you get me out?"
Ion just stares at his bedroom door. It's shut tight. He slowly starts backing away, desperately trying to put distance between himself and whatever is in there. And then, the sound returns. But this time, it's coming from the inside of his bedroom door. A single, slow knock.
He just keeps backing away in pure, unadulterated terror. The sound repeats, slightly faster now, demanding to be heard. Knock, knock. 3 knocks. Driven by this horrific compulsion to just know what is in there, Ion forces himself to step forward. He turns the handle, he opens the bedroom door. But the room is completely empty. There's absolutely no one standing there. Except, sitting right in the middle of his bed is an old, weathered photograph. The details of this photo are absolutely horrifying. He picks it up with shaking hands. The picture shows the exact same hallway he was just standing in, and right in the center is the door to flat 307. There's a date stamped at the bottom, 17 August 2023. But the reason all the blood drains from his face is who is in the photograph. There's a girl standing in the hallway, and he instantly recognizes her. It's the girl whose voice he has been hearing all night.
He turns the photograph over. Scrawled on the back is this handwritten message. If you are looking at this photo, she is now in your room. Ayan violently spins around to look behind him. But still, nobody. The room is empty.
Panic completely takes over. He frantically hits the switch to turn on the main bedroom light, but the electricity starts failing. The light blinks on, just once.
It blinks twice, and then total, suffocating darkness swallows the room. The power is completely gone, and in that pitch black, right next to his ear, someone whispers, "Don't look back now." Tears are just streaming down his face. He squeezes his eyes shut, literally paralyzed by this unseen thing in his room.
But then an impossible technological glitch happens. Remember, his phone was completely dead, right? Suddenly, in the dark, it vibrates in his hand. The screen lights up, cutting through the black. It's a notification from a CCTV camera app, and it says, "Motion detected."
Ayan opens the notification. The app pulls up a live, real-time video feed of his own bedroom. On that glowing screen, he sees himself standing right by his bed. But he is not alone. Standing directly behind him in the live footage is a girl. She's wearing all white. She has long, dark black hair, and her face is tilted down, completely hidden from the camera. He can barely breathe. With his fingers trembling, he pinches the screen to zoom in on the girl. And as he zooms in, the girl in the video feed slowly, deliberately lifts her head and looks straight into the camera. Ayan's breath just stops, because the face staring back at him through that screen is his mother. His mother who passed away 10 years ago. As this devastating reality completely shatters his mind, a final message pops up on his screen. "Son, when are you coming home?" The phone just slips from his numb fingers and crashes to the floor. And at that exact second, from the darkness of the bedroom, a voice speaks out loud. "Ayan, you have come home now."
The next guest. Morning finally breaks. The storm has passed. The security guard, probably sensing something terrible happened, unlocks Ayan's apartment door to check on him. He walks in, calling his name, but the flat is totally empty. Ayan is nowhere to be found. The only trace that Ayan was ever even there is pinned to the wall of his empty bedroom. It's a brand new photograph. The guard looks at it. The photo shows the building's hallway. The door to flat 307 is standing wide open. Inside that dark room, Ayan is standing. And right behind him, with her hand on his shoulder, is his deceased mother. They are trapped inside the picture, trapped inside room 307.
And written incredibly neatly right below this horrifying new image is a single line of text. Who will be the next guest? It really leaves us wondering about the dark history of that sealed room and who exactly might wander into its trap next. So, that wraps up this explainer, and honestly, I highly recommend double-checking your locks tonight.